How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another deck profile. Hope you're all doing well, and today I'm going to be talking about Majespecter. So this is a deck that I have had a lot of experience with over the past couple of years. I picked it up back in 2018, played it for a couple of years, then put it in bulk because obviously KIRIN was banned and the deck just wasn't keeping up with the meta at the time. But now we've got all of the new cards as well as KIRIN back to 1, and I think the deck is incredibly strong and incredibly consistent now. So I wanted to make a profile going over my list for it for the current format, and I hope you guys enjoy. So for the monsters, I am running, obviously, 1 KIRIN. It's back off the ban list, and it really does add a lot to the Majespecter end board. You're able to use it to interrupt your opponent while also bouncing something like the Porcupine to allow you to extend in that turn or for the next turn, getting back important resources such as Wind or even Cyclone if you want to interrupt your opponent more. Speaking of Porcupine, 3 Porcupine. Porcupine is the newest Majespecter we've gotten, and it really does a lot for the deck. It's such an incredible card. They did a really good job designing this card, because the thing that Majespecter really needed was something that could help you extend without needing stuff like the Performage, or excuse me, not Performage, the Curtain Raiser that special summons itself from the Pendulum Scale, or something like the Magician package, or just Perform a Pal package. You used to rely on that stuff a lot, but Porcupine, now you don't have to rely on it anymore. And Porcupine itself, plus another normal summon, or even just opening Bunbuku, allows you to do the full combo on its own. Such an incredible card. And then I'm running 3 Yada, because you need to search for Majespecter Wind, or Storm, excuse me. No, it is Wind, yes. You need to search for Majespecter Wind. Wind gives you pretty much everything. It is a 1-card combo off of Yada, or if you go Bunbuku search for Porcupine, that's a 1-card combo as well. Very important. And then for 1-ofs, I'm running 1 QB, 1 Ogama. These kind of serve the purpose of getting to your traps, and they're not very important for the strategy anymore. You used to run 3 of these in the old lists before we got the new support, because getting to the traps was the most important thing for the deck. But now that you have the entire toolbox is just Bunbuku, Yada, Porcupine, and Storm, Wind, to facilitate your entire combo and search everything out that you need. You don't really need more than 1 copy of any of these, especially since you're only running 2 traps and then 1 of the spells that interrupt your opponent, Cyclone. Plus, setting off of Ogama is not great, because setting Wind isn't going to allow you to activate it that turn. And then lastly, for the Majespecters, 3 Bunbuku. Or, well, I say lastly, but we have honorary Majespecters in the deck as well. Bunbuku is pretty much a 1-card combo, and I'm going to go into the combos as well in this video, but it'll be after the deck profile. As for the honorary Majespecters, I'm running 3 Maiden, or Majesty's Pegasus, excuse me. I call her Maiden because she looks very similar to Majesty Maiden. I'm pretty sure that they're the same person. And then 1 Dynamite Power Load. This guy's important because you can do the Majesty Maiden to search and then potentially pop a scale so that you can get this guy and then place him in your scale. For the rest of our monster lineup, these are just going to be hand traps. So I'm running 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash Blossom, and 3 Droll and Lockbird. In testing and in the current format, Droll is not that good anymore, because Snake Eyes is just pivoting to the pure version, or they're pivoting to the Kashtira version. So instead of this, Veiler is probably better. But I'm running Crossout in this build, and the Crossout is going to save you against Droll, so you could realistically cut down to 2 Nib, 2 Droll, and then run 2 Veiler if you're worried about wanting to hit everything while also being able to dump a effect Veiler on a Snake Eye Ash or something. For spells, I am running the Veilance package, so 1 Koenig Weizen and 1 Shinra Bancho. The reason for this is because this package allows you to play through Nib, and it's also a really handy going second package. You're able to place your own monsters on the spell and trap, or no, excuse me, you're able to place your opponent's monsters in the spell and trap zone, and then special summon your own monsters from your spell and trap zone. So this makes the Snake Eye match pretty interesting, because you can normal summon a Majespecter in a zone, or in a column that they have a monster in, and then activate this, place their monster in their back row, and then if you get Nibiru later in the turn, you can actually use it to special summon one of your scales and allow yourself to continue playing. Very, very handy package. I think it's extremely underrated, and I think that this is kind of the way to go for Majespecter, especially in hand trap heavy formats. And then for the last field spell, I am running 1 Secret Village of the Spellcasters. There's an argument that you can run Necro Valley, but I like Secret Village more because it allows you to dodge more important effects than Necro Valley would stop important grave effects. Secret Village allows you to get through Triple Tack, it allows you to get through Lightning Storm, you can stop Wanted, you can stop the field spell for Snake Eye, you can stop a lot more things, and then you're able to use your traps and your KIRIN to deal with the stuff that they would do outside of that. I'm also running 3 Crossout, very important card, especially because you run into Nibiru territory like nobody's business in this deck, and that's kind of the main hand trap that you're worried about is Nibiru, so running 3 of this is just a countermeasure for that, which gives you 3, 6, 7, 8, about 8 ways to either dodge Nib completely or play through Nib. Because you're running the Majesty Maiden, you're running this, and you're running the Veilance field spell package. I'm also running 3 Majespecter Wind. This card's incredible. It summons a Majespecter from deck if you tributed a Wind spellcaster, and if you did not, you can summon a Majespecter monster from hand or grave. Very good, which also another argument to play Droll in this deck is it is a Wind spellcaster, so you can use it to activate your Majespecter spells and traps. And the last spell I'm running is Majespecter Cyclone. This card is cool. I wish that Storm was a quick play, and then we would just not play this card because Storm is better since it shuffles instead of destroys, but it's whatever, it's fine. For traps, I'm running 3 Imperm, pretty self-explanatory, and then I'm running 1 Tornado, and finally 1 Tempest. My only complaint about Porcupine is it only grabs spells from grave. I wish that it grabbed spells or traps, so that you could continue to recycle Tornado and Tempest for late game, or if you're trying to grind it out with your opponent, because these cards are so much better than Cyclone, since Tornado banishes and Tempest just flat out negates, but Cyclone is targeted destruction, which is not great anymore. So that was the main deck, and for the extra deck, I am running 1 Boral Sword. You can replace this with access code. Boral Sword is not great, but I don't have an access code, so this is just kind of the thing I use to kill. 1 Appaloosa. Savage and Barone died for Appaloosa's sins, or more accurately for Snake Eyes' sins. So we just have Appaloosa now, and it's fine. I don't really go into her a whole lot personally. It's mostly turns 3. It's mostly turn 3 if I go first, or turn 4. You don't really go into her a whole lot. 1 Exceed, self-explanatory. Double New, this card is incredible. You essentially go +4 with it, because you're adding 2 Majespecters from extra deck to hand, so the things that you use to link summon it, usually, and then adding 2 from deck to extra deck. So they need Imperm Veiler to stop this, because they're most certainly not ashing it. Obviously, my only complaint with this card is it's a Majespecter, but it doesn't have targeting or destruction protection, which kind of sucks, but it's whatever. 1 Beyond. You almost never make it in this unless you're going into turn 3, to be honest, and you're like, I want to make a good board. For the XYZs, I'm running 1 Zeus, 1 Typhon, double Draco. My other Draco is unfortunately still in the mail, and it's a couple days past due, so it's like, it's whatever. 1 Baguska, 1 Dweller, 1 Majesty Paladin. This card is just kind of a flex spot. You can change this out to whatever the heck you want. You could run Selene and then change the Boral Sword out for an access code, make it a whole lot better. But this is just, it's just a flex spot. It's whatever you want. 1 Chidori. This card is okay. I kind of wish that it was a quick effect. If we had like a modern version that either one or both of the effects were quick effects, but you could only use 1 effect per turn, it would be nice. But it helps you break boards pretty easily. And then finally, 1 Dinoster Power, just to protect your monsters on the field from battle or card destruction. So if you want to protect the Draco Ryu, you can summon this, or if you want to protect the KIRIN from battle, you can summon this. It's fine. You can also use it to extend, and you can use the Magister Paladin to extend as well, but they're very situational, to be honest. They're not incredible. So I'm hoping that we get a retrain of them sometime soon in the future. That'd be nice. Now, this is the portion of the video where I'm going to go over some combos. And before I get into that, I want to say that if you're looking for other alternatives for certain cards, you can use Summon Breaker for a field spell. Nekomata is an option, but I think Nekomata is really bad now if you don't have KIRIN. Mostly because Nekomata in-phase searching is just such a 2012 effect, and it doesn't really do a whole lot for the strategy. It's level 3 with an in-phase search. That's like the worst possible thing that you can have in Majespecters, especially when your only good level 3 is Bunbuku, and you only really use it to do the search Porcupine and then go into the link. That's all you ever use it for. Or sometimes you might use it to make Dinoster, which is fine, but it's just not great. But other than that, let's get into the combos. So the combos are pretty self-explanatory. We'll start with Yada first, because Yada is extremely good and very easy to get to as well. So let's say your only opening card is Yada. You go normal summon Yada, effect to search for the Wind, and you'll activate Wind, tributing the Yada. It'll go to your face-up extra deck. This will summon out Bunbuku, which you can use to search for Porcupine. Activate Porcupine's effect in the hand to special summon, and then on summon, Porcupine will reset your Majespecter Wind. Here you can go into New. New is going to add back 2 from extra deck to hand. So you want to get a low scale and a high scale. And then you will dump from deck 2 Majespecters with different names. So in this case, I'm going to dump Maiden and Ogama. Here you can scale your 2 pendulums, and you can go Pendulum Summon, Ogama, and Maiden. At this point, you'll go Chainlink 1 Maiden, Chainlink 2 Ogama, because you Pendulum Summon Maiden, so you get to search a field spell. Ogama is going to set either Tornado or Tempest, whichever one you prefer, and then Maiden is going to search for a field spell. So if you think that you're going to be in Nib territory here, and you're worried about that, you can search for the Veilance spells and activate them so that you can potentially dodge Nib by summoning the 2 from scale. But if you have something like Crossout in your hand, you can just add the Secret Village and then discard a card. So you'll add, discard, and then activate Secret Village. And then here, you can go directly into your Draco Ryu. So now, you pass to your opponent, and let's say you want to go Wind here in their draw phase, just to get the board completely set up. You'll summon the KIRIN from deck. Ryu will detach to summon from deck because you tributed a Wind spellcaster. You can search for or summon Bunbuku. Bunbuku will add another copy of the Porcupine. And so now you have a tribute for Tornado, and you can use Porcupine to summon, add or set the Majespecter Wind back. And if you Tornado, tributing the Bunbuku, you can go Ryu effect, detach, summon from deck again, because it is twice per turn. So you can summon Yada, and then Yada will actually search for your Cyclone to help you break the board the next turn, in case they have anything. And so now, you can go KIRIN, bounce the Porcupine, so that you have that for next turn. And then draw. And from here you have a plethora of lines that you can go into. You can do the Boral Sword line, you can do an Apo line, you can just do New again and then set up again. You have a lot. You have a lot. And the only weird thing about this deck is sometimes you're going to deck thin so much that you won't have a Majespecter name in the deck by turn 3. And in those instances, you're just going to be top decking hand traps the entire time. Which is why it's very important to make sure that you have Porcupine in your hand so that you can continue recovering resources. Because if you run out of resources, the game is pretty much over. Especially if your opponent is on a deck that can grind very well, such as Labyrinth or such as Snake Eye, stuff like that. Combo number 2 is just going to be normal Bunbuku. So you will normal summon Bunbuku, search for Porcupine, special Porcupine, no effect obviously, you have no Majespecter spell engrave. You'll make New. New will add back those 2 from extra, and you will dump Ogama and Maiden. Just opening Bunbuku is probably the worst of the combos because you're not going to have access to the Wind. Actually, to be honest, I might not even send the Ogama. I might just send the Yada here because Yada will give us access to the Wind. Albeit a little bit late, but it's better than nothing. So here you will pin summon Yada and Maiden. You'll go Yada Chainlink 1, Maiden Chainlink 2. Search. Discard, search. activate the secret village, and here you can actually go ahead and do the Ryu combo. Go into Wind, tribute the Nue for KIRIN. Draco will detach to summon from deck. And here I would just do the Porcupine probably. Or you could do Ogama if you want to set a trap. And you could have also summoned, or you could have also dumped Ogama or a QB off of the new if you really didn't care much for the field spell. But here I think I'm actually just gonna do Ogama here, just so I can get Tornado or the counter trap. And the reason for this is because I'm gonna be able to use the Ryu on my opponent's turn to summon Bunbuku from deck and then just grab a Porcupine like that. So there's really no rush to get to the Wind, especially when it itself is not really an interruption. So you can pass on this, it goes your opponent's turn, and you can go Tornado, Tribute Ogama, excuse me, that goes to extra deck. Ryu will summon from deck. And another line you could do is instead of summoning the KIRIN off of the Wind, you could summon the Porcupine and then just go Wind on the opponent's turn to tribute the Porcupine, go into KIRIN that way. It all accomplishes the same thing though. So we're going to go into Bunbuku. Bunbuku search Porcupine. You can KIRIN bounce, or you can just wait, go Porcupine, summon, reset the Wind, and then go KIRIN bounce. And then you can draw once your opponent passes, assuming that they've done nothing to your board, which your opponent's always going to do something to your board, unless they bricked. Now, another good combo is if you have Maiden with, say, we'll do like an interesting test hand here. So you can go activate Maiden, normal Bunbuku effect. You can either search Porcupine here to do the normal combo, or you can search another name and then pop it with Maiden, get the Dino, and then special summon Maiden. But I think here we're just going to try to go for the normal line, so we're going to search for the Yamarashi. Special summon it, link into Nue to add back 2, and then dump 2. So we'll do Ogama. Actually, no, let's do QB and Yada. Ogama really is the worst of the 4s, I feel like. But the really good thing about it is that it allows you to chain block, and then your opponent can't Ash or Impermit. Because it can't be targeted, and it's also not adding from deck, it's setting from deck, which is very important. So you'll add those two to extra, you'll have these, and you can go scale the Bunbuku, pop it, or excuse me, activate Maiden to search for the Dinoster, and then pop the Bunbuku on res. So now you have scales 6 through 2. And another interesting card that just came out is Pendulum Witch. That card might be interesting for some builds of Majespecter, but the main issue with Majespecter is getting locked off of Nue now. So you have to be very careful. So here, you can go Pendulum Summon, Yada, and QB. Both will activate their effects, so you go for Wind, and what's going to be the first trap? Tornado again. Okay, cool. You go for Wind and Tornado, go straight into Draco. Excuse me, Draco, where is he? There he is. Okay. From here, you can go Dynamite, Power Load to Special, activate Wind, tribute it off, or actually, no. Activate effect to search, excuse me. Search, and then discard. Activate Secret Village, activate tribute this, summon from deck. Probably Ogama, to be honest, so that you get the other trap. And then Ryu is going to activate, detach, summon from deck. Probably Porcupine here, just so you can get your stuff back in rotation sooner. And Ogama's going to set the other trap on res. So now Porcupine is going to target Wind and reset Wind, and then you can set Tornado. And if you have like an Imperm or something, you can set that too. So then you could go into another Draco here if you wanted to. You could go into the Majesty Paladin and special summon the Maiden back from extra deck. You have a few options here, but just for simplicity's sake, I'm just gonna end on this. So their turn, we can Wind, Tempest, Tornado, and we'll also have KIRIN, presumably, unless they just top deck Ash. And if they top deck Ash, it's like, okay, cool, they have to stop it for 2 interactions, they only have 1 Ash. So you can Wind, tribute, excuse me, that goes to extra deck, and this is in hand. Summon KIRIN, Ryu effect, detach, summon Bunbuku, Bunbuku effect to add Yada probably, or you can summon Yada to search for Cyclone. But I like the hand advantage, and then the potential to spiral next turn, so I'm going to do that. So that's Engrave, you can go Porcupine, summon, reset Wind, KIRIN bounce, Tempest Tornado to tribute, and they're under Secret Village. So the deck has a lot of very good plays, and the more cards you have in your hand, the better off you're gonna be. I think I'll also show off a little bit of the Veilance stuff. So for example, let's just, for simplicity's sake, go back to this combo with Bunbuku and Maiden. So normal Bunbuku, scale Maiden, Bunbuku is going to search for the Porcupine, special Porcupine. You just go through the normal line here up until you get to the Maiden. So new is going to add back 2 and then dump 2. So Yada and QB. QB. Where's QB? There he is. So dump those 2, add these 2 to hand, scale pop off of Maiden and search. I say pop and search, but you actually search and then you have the option to pop the scale. So just be mindful of that. And then here you will scale the Dynamite, Pendulum Summon, 1, 2. Search and search for Wind, and Tornado is always the closest one for some reason. Here you can go effect to summon the Maiden, effect of Maiden to search. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they nib you before you summon Maiden, they're dumb, by the way. But here you can search for Konigweisen. And if they nib you here, all of these go to extra deck, right? All of that goes there. They give you the nib token. So now, fun fact, you go activate Konigweisen. Konigweisen places or activates from your deck the other Veilance card. Shenron Bansho is going to allow you to special summon a monster in your pendulum zone, or in your spell and trap zone, excuse me. So you can literally go activate Yamarashi, effect, special, Yamarashi. And if you really wanted to, if you, for some reason, had a normal or had a special off of Yamarashi, or if they put the nib in the same zone as the Yamarashi, then you can actually put the nib in their spell and trap zone with Koenig Weissen. It's really cool. So here you go, special Yamarashi. If you really wanted to, you could have gone wind prior and then reset it off of Yamarashi, but it's fine here. So you can go wind to tribute the Yamarashi if you want to here, and go and put into Bunbuku, or excuse me, hold on. You go set 2, pass. Your opponent's turn, you go wind, tribute, special Bunbuku. Bunbuku will add Porcupine. And so now you at least have some interruption in the form of Tornado. So you can go Yamarashi effect, special, reset wind, activate Tornado, tribute Bunbuku, banish one of their monsters. And the more extension you have, the better off it's going to be. And that's it for the deck profile and the combos. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Really helps me out. And if you guys want to check me out on Twitch, I stream over there pretty consistently, about 3 days a week. We do the podcast on Thursday. We do gaming and stuff Friday, Sunday. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or tips or things you want other people to see in the video, make sure to leave a comment down below. Helps me out, helps you out, helps your mama out, helps whoever the fuck you want it to help out. I mean, heck, you could put a spaghetti recipe in the comments if you wanted to. I'm out. You guys have a good one.